Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Jeff. Today, I wanted to make another video for you guys and talk about tips that I have that made it really a little bit easier for me to pursue my passion and really get going on the things that I really cared about. As some of y'all know, if you watch some of my older videos, I'm a software engineer, broke into the industry without a computer science background, and had bad grades in college and worked construction right before becoming a software engineer. I think that these tips can apply to any topic, anything that you're passionate about, anything that you're trying to pursue. Overall, I think these concepts will apply either way, all across the board. And if you're able to at least leverage these things, they'll make it just a little bit easier for you to get up every day and make these things happen. So I just have three quick tips. And the first one I'm going to start with is you really got to start joining spaces where folks are doing what you're also doing. You got to stop doing these things alone. That you don't have to be alone when doing these things. There's communities, there's places for whatever you're pursuing. I'll give you an example. So when I was learning how to program, learning how to code, that before I even got into the boot camp, I was struggling so hard to find time to study, and I was like self teaching myself, and I had basically no direction. And that's when I discovered that there was actually a sector for folks that were in prep to join the boot camp. And the moment I joined that community of folks that were even on the mission to do a boot camp or join the software engineering programs, those folks were all on the same boat as me. And right away, I had a lot more advice rather than just going about it all by myself. You'll be surprised if you find folks that are doing the same thing. You might just hear a little bit of advice or one quick tip that can just accelerate your learning that much further rather than stumbling so hard by trying to figure out how to self study or self learn that thing you're trying to do. So go after it. And if you aren't able to find that group, if you're doing something that's even more specific, at least we're in a space where you got to at least find the YouTuber or someone that's creating videos or content to accelerate your learning on that topic. So that's a quick tip right there for number one. Number two is actually the complete opposite. You got to leave the spaces that are holding you back. So it's kind of like that balancing act, right? You're picking up something new, you're trying to do something, you're trying to learn something, you're trying to pursue your goals, you're trying to be who you want to be. And so it's not that the folks or the spaces that you're on in currently are bad, or there's bad people. It's just that it's a conflict with who you're trying to become. I know we all have jobs, we all have school, we all have commitments, but at least try to deprioritize and put those things in autopilot that don't make sense for your goal moving forward. So one example I have is that I was working construction, right? And it was a job that was doing well for me. I was able to sustain myself, living right out of college, that kind of stuff. But I really had to put that job in the backlog and just cruise through it as I was self studying to become a software engineer. There was a moment I remember that I even got a bonus for the work that I was doing. And I had to like almost say to myself that, hey, this isn't what I'm ultimately after, as I almost felt like if I followed that trend or kept on going with what I was doing with the construction job or taking all these bonuses or letting the lifestyle increase from getting a bonus would have hurt me even more in the long run, even though in the short term I was doing well in that career and getting paid pretty decently. Okay, so this last one, it's got to be probably the most important one that I learned. And that's you got to stop asking people that don't quite understand what you're trying to do for advice. Okay, this is a really complicated one because we want to ask the people we care about, we want to ask the people that we love about the advice. And they might have great advice about some of the attributes about what you're trying to do, but keep in mind that folks are that you're asking might just be leading you down the wrong way. Uh, I'll give you another example here. I had an aunt that I was living with when I first moved to the Bay Area, and had terrible grades. I went to an average school, and her first advice to me was, "Hey, just settle for whatever you can get." There's kids that I know that are leaving Berkeley, the top ranked schools. They're making 80K, 70K out of college. Where you're at, you should just consider being okay with making 15, maybe $20 an hour, and just getting your foot in the door. And that's not bad advice. And I don't think that they were intentionally trying to harm you, as nobody is trying to intentionally harm you. But people are giving you advice based off of what works for them. If they're not taking a new risk, for example, if they're not taking a risk on deprioritizing their existing job, or that kind of thing, to pursue the next goal that they want, it's going to be really hard for them to understand why you're going after this thing so hard, right? And so it's nothing on them, and you don't need to think about how these folks are doing you harm or that kind of stuff. It's simply that there's a large disconnect, and it's the wrong person to get advice from. I mean, if I ask my parents, "Hey, should I give up this role I have, or go less intense in the job I have so I can pursue software?" They would most likely tell me, "Hey, like, you're in a good space," and they wouldn't. For people that care about me or in their position, they would most likely be more afraid to take the risk that I was willing to take at that time. So it's not bad advice. It's not good advice. It's just the wrong advice for you in that existing time. Okay, so those are just kind of some things that I really had to dig deep on when I was very early trying to pursue my passion and trying to break out of what I was doing in the current moment. I hope that this inspires you to at least go after it and think a little bit harder about how your day to day is, what you need to let go, what you need to go find to go, really go hard at the goals that you wanna pursue. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions or if you have any feedback, please feel free to let me know, and if not, I'll talk to you guys soon. Later.